Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to give you guys some tips that can help you play better and win more if you are a console player in Fortnite. If you guys find this video helpful, please do remember to give it a like rating and subscribe if you would like to see more. Also, I do live stream Fortnite every single day on Twitch, and my Twitch will be linked down in the description below. Starting off with ADS spam, I'm sure lots of you guys know about this. It's kind of a hot topic and a meme sometimes in the Fortnite community. A lot of people don't know how to actually do it though. They just kind of full auto their AR and then spam LT randomly. What you want to do is tap LT, and when the edit or when the aim assist locks onto the person, you want to shoot at that moment. And if you time this well with your first shot accuracy, you're going to be able to laser people really accurately at really far ranges, much more accurately than you could if you weren't taking advantage of this mechanic, just because of how Bloom is in Fortnite. So I'm going to have clips of the wrong and right ways to do it, but basically you want to tap left trigger and shoot when you have first shot accuracy. If for really long range, for medium range, you can kind of shoot in bursts and do it, but for those really long range shots, especially with something like the heavy AR or the infantry rifle, you're going to want to shoot like in taps, not full autoing. I see a lot of people full auto at like really long ranges, and then they don't understand why it's not working. It's because you have to tap at those ranges. You still have Bloom. It doesn't really get rid of Bloom. It just locks on for like one shot, one moment, and if you time that well with your shot, you will hit the opponent every single time. It's a pretty absurd mechanic, and it should be patched, but for now, the ADS spam and the aim assist like lock on works really well, and it is very powerful, so I definitely think you should be taking advantage of it in situations where it's really awkward to hit the opponent, such as them flying. Also, if you're spraying through walls, spam LT. You'll see me do it with SMGs. This I do full auto and spam LT, but this is when you're spraying through a wall and then you lock on for the first shot when the wall breaks. It's different though, because with those SMGs you're going to be much closer to the opponent. The next thing I want to talk about is how you order your loadout. And for the longest time, I thought it didn't matter on console. All that mattered was that each thing that was one swap after what you want to use after it. For example, I'd put like AR, shotgun, SMG. That way I could use my AR, swap one, be on my shotgun, swap one, be on my SMG. But it didn't really matter to me which slot each things were in. But it actually does matter which slot each things are in. You should have your shotgun in the first slot and your AR in the last one. That way your shotgun is one swap away from your AR. And the reason why you should do this is because when you wall replace on somebody and then swap back to your gun, it'll put you on slot 1. I'm going to have some gameplay of it on screen, and you can even test it yourself, but you just have to actually do it the correct way. I was talking to a lot of people about this, and they were telling me I was wrong, but they weren't doing it correctly. So let's say you have a wall that you want to replace. You switch to your pickaxe, you pickaxe that wall, you then build your own wall, and then close your build menu, and you're back on your pickaxe. If you swap to the right after that, you're going to be on slot 1 every single time. And when you wall replace on somebody, you're going to want to be on your shotgun afterwards. So it makes sense to have your shotgun in slot 1, and then your AR in the last slot, your SMG in the second, and then your sniper / explosive in slot 4, and then the rest doesn't matter where like your heals or like mobility items are. So definitely put shotgun in slot 1. Like I said, you could test it yourself. Just make sure you actually do it correctly before you tell me I'm wrong. Pickaxe, build, pickaxe, swap, you'll be on slot 1 pretty much every single time. I tested a lot. Like I said, for the longest time, I thought it didn't matter at all. So this is something that I like tested a lot to make sure I was actually like right on. The next thing I want to talk about is keybinds that can be very important and very helpful. First of all, you're going to want to have instant edit, and the way you get instant edit is that you have edit as its own keybind. You'll see on screen right now, you can choose between build and edit is like the hold action. What you want is edit to have its own keybind. That way it's not a hold action, it's just is its own thing, and then it'll be instant when you click and you'll actually start editing. Another thing that you want to do is have edit in the jump buttons on buttons that you don't need to take your thumbs off the analog stick for. Left stick edit and right stick jump can be very helpful, or if you play on PS4 you could use the touchpad. There's lots of things you can do, but basically you want to be able to edit and you want to be able to jump while simultaneously aiming. That way you can jump and build. You need to be able to jump and aim a lot while you're building. Also, being able to jump and aim in shotgun fights is quite helpful. And then obviously you want to be able to edit and aim. That way you can like edit the squares quickly and not really slow. So you want to have edit and jump on buttons that you don't need to take your thumbs off the analog stick. This is really effective if you have paddles, but not everybody has paddles. So I think the best two things to prioritize are edit and jump. You could turn on sprint by default. to free up a keybind that way. And I actually think sprint by default is really helpful as it is, and it's really good for keeping momentum and not losing momentum when you bump things. But like I said, you want to have instant edit. So you want to have edit as its own keybind, and you also want to have jump and edit on buttons that you don't need to take your thumbs off the analog stick. That way you can do them while aiming. This next thing is actually going to help you do anything while aiming, and that is to play claw. If you guys don't know what claw is, it's where your index finger, the finger in between your thumb and your middle finger, is on the AX, BY, or triangle, circle, X, square buttons if you play on PlayStation. Your index finger is on those buttons, and then your middle finger is on the trigger. And basically, it just allows you to hit all of those buttons while aiming, like we just talked about. But it gives you so much more freedom. Not everybody can play claw. Lots of people find it uncomfortable. Some people find it painful. I'm not really sure. I've played like this for 10 years now. I started playing like this in Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3 a very long time ago on the Xbox 360. And I've played like this since, and I play a lot. I've never experienced any pain or problems from it, but that's just me. If it does hurt you, don't do it. It's probably not a good idea to do that. But I definitely recommend trying it out and seeing if it is something that you can get used to, because it does give you a nice advantage of being able to hit all of those buttons while aiming and never having to worry about any sort of keybinds messing up it to where you can't aim and do all those things at the same time. And also, you don't have to buy a paddled controller, but paddles are very effective for this as well. But I just prefer to play claw because that's how I've played for a long time, long before paddled controllers were a thing. The next thing I want to talk about is something I actually don't use, but some people find it helpful, and I know some people who watch me and talk about it in the chat, they find this very helpful, and that is edit mode aim assist. You might be like, what the heck? Everybody tells me to turn edit mode aim assist off. What's going on there? What has changed is edit mode sensitivity was added as an option. In the past, edit mode sensitivity wasn't a thing, so we just had our basic edit sensitivity. But since they added edit mode sensitivity, you can max your editing sensitivity and then turn on edit mode aim assist, and this makes your edits really smooth. But the really high edit aim assist, the really high edit sensitivity rather, makes it to where you can actually correct the aim assist, and it doesn't just force you to do things that you don't want to do. It actually is quite helpful, but I personally don't like doing it. But recommend trying it in like creative or something and seeing if it is something that makes your edits a lot better if you are struggling with editing. Like I said, I don't personally like this. It's not something that I like using. I might make a video on it in the future for all the reasons that I don't like using it, but it can be quite helpful and it can make your edits a lot better if you are having a hard time editing. The final thing I want to talk about is not really a tip. It's just a setting that can help your frame rate if you're having a lot of frame drops. I play on a normal Xbox One and I have a lot of frame drops. I actually just ordered an X and it'll be here shortly. But if you are having a lot of frame drops, turn off replay mode and it should help. Replay mode recording, all of that stuff does make the frame rate worse. It makes the game run worse. Also, if you're playing creative, like if you're playing Zone Wars and you're having a lot of lag or just a lot of problems in there, you could turn off creative mode replays and it actually will make it more smooth. I've told this to a lot of people that I've played Zone Wars with, and a lot of them have said that it has helped the game run better. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. ADS spam, you want to learn how to do it because it is something that's very effective and it's going to give you a lot of easy kills that you probably would have a harder time getting otherwise. You're going to put your shotgun as the first slot in your loadout. That way when you wall replace on somebody, you can be right on your shotgun when you edit and shoot them. You want to be able to have instant edit and also editing and jumping on buttons that you don't need to take your thumbs off the analog sticks. That way you can do them while aiming. Playing claw allows you to do literally anything without taking your thumb off the analog stick. It never needs to leave the analog stick. Edit mode aim assist can make your edits smoother and faster, especially for like stairs or just any sort of awkward edit. And replay mode can make the game lag and run poorly, so if you turn that off, you might have a better time. That's going to be it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Is this kid going to get on a turret too? Did you not see what happened to the last kid? There we go. I know he went past that turret. That was like an annoying fight because like I lasered him so hard when he was gliding. But he just like wouldn't die.